Azure DevOps work detail, capacity planning, and progress tracking. Let's make it simple. Hi guys, this is continuation series of Azure DevOps. In the last session, we learned how to create a work item, how we can see the work item in the board or in the backlog and the sprint. So this is sprint guys, and here this is a task board, and we can go into the backlog also. Backlog will see here directly. We can create the any task also, and work detail and planning we can switch it over here. Suppose we wanted to see the work detail. To see the work detail guys, we should go into the first capacity. This user, how much capacity he have to work. Total actually team right now is actually 0. So suppose capacity per day, how much capacity he has 8-hour capacity per day. Okay, and he is not exactly taking any day off, so this is actually 8 hours, and he will work on the development side. Another user, he is also development, so he'll do exactly suppose 7 hours. Deepak is also will do the development, and suppose he will do the 6 hours. He will do the suppose a requirement gathering, and it will take around 8 hours. So these are the capacity. We can save the capacity from here. Once we save, when we go to the backlog, we can see work detail, we will get it. So this is our development. This is a requirement. Like a way, if you will make the documentations, here we will get the segregate. The total 72 hours assigned to this user. This user, Deepak, is this much. This user has this much. So these are the detail we are getting as a work detail of current sprint iterations, one only of all this user story related thing. Okay, so this is the way guys we can see, and here also suppose Devashi's done actually remaining work is right now is 16 hour, and he completed 8 hour from here. Once we save, we can see some progress will be start, right? Like a way we can see, suppose this required 24 hours and he completed around 12 hours, and 12 hours is remaining, and you can see this is also coming started. So this is the way, once we write down the capacity, this is the way we will see in a backlog, and work detail will be populated. Here in the capacity, if the some user or some developer won't be available in this sprint, suppose he will work like 4 hours, or suppose he wanted to be make it one more item. This user wanted to be add one more activity for documentations 2 hour daily. So this is the way we can add it, and according to that we can see we got a documentation also. So how much time he spent on documentation, that work detail we will see it over here. Here in the capacity could be possible guys, some user won't be available. Suppose Devashish won't be available, he is taking day off of this day. On 16 he won't be available, so according to that this backlog will be adjusted automatically. This is in the work item, we'll see how is actually our work is actually going in a progress. Okay, so this is the way we have the work item planning. Another thing is, suppose we will add to this favorite. So when we will click it over here, user setting, suppose if we will click in this one favorite, our sprint we can see, as we can mark down anything like board, backlog, work item, work team, anything that we will come into favorite. So once we will click on the star, we will get over here. Another one, we have one icon also. From this icon we can go all the item, board, backlog, sprint, we can choose, and we can go it also. So it will help us to navigate. From here also we can see the member. One more thing, when we go into backlog, we have analytics. Analytics means whatever the sprint we plan it, or whatever the work item we done it, that analytics will become. I'll show in another project. Here we have Tailwind Trader. Here we'll go in a backlog. Here we click on the analytics. Here we can see average work in the progress. This much work is actually progress in average. Here we can, from last 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, all these things we can see it also. If we have swim lanes, we can see all the swim lane also. How many tasks is closed or new, we can check it out it also. So that means it's showing in a graph how much is actually our progress. According to that, we will see a one count. Similarly, here we can see one more thing is velocity. Velocity means how the work item is actually moving. What is the average velocity for the sprint, for this particular iterations, from the last particular iteration, this is the velocity. And guys, one more thing, when we go in a backlog, suppose this is the team, here we can see forecast also. Forecast, according to that we can see this is the velocity, means how we completed our all the work item in last iteration. According to that it is forecasting or what would be the velocity. According to that we can make a plan, we can add a more developer, or we can make the ticket if there's somebody ticket does not have, so that we can make more ticket completed or we can add the, if we have the more workload, we can add the developer also in the current sprint. So this is the way we can actually forecast it also for future purpose. One more thing guys, from here we can send an email also. We can add to anybody, whoever actually we have in our organization. So, and here we can write down the note, all the whatever the backlog will be sent as an email also. If we need to send in our organizations, rather than taking a screenshot, we can send the email also directly. Another thing is we can make the task. Can we change the process also? Process means right now we are Agile. Can I move to the Scrum or CMMI also? That is also possible. How? So first we will make a new process level. We'll go in an organization setting. Here we have process, and these are the default process we have. Now we wanted to create a new process. So we can, suppose I wanted to be just extend the Agile one. I will click new team project. Create inherited process means whatever the Agile we have, we can create from here. Set as default process. So now whatever the new project will be created, so this will be the default process. Disable process, I want to be disabled for the future purpose, nobody will create it. Or we can change the security also. So here we will do the create inherited process. Here we'll write down new Agile, or any other name also, we can say wellness Agile. Here we can write down descriptions and create. So this is the new process is created. After that we click and we can see we have, these are the work item. Here we can add a remove, or we can add a new work item also. Suppose here in a user story, I wanted to add a new work item. Here we can select any one of items. Suppose on the task, I wanted to click. Here we can add a new field. Suppose field name, I wanted to give a ticket ID, and this is the name. This is a text box will become in the text. We can write down the boolean, date, time, pick list also, anything we can write down. Here this field will become an existing field item, acceptance criteria, or we can add our new group item also. Suppose here I'm writing down tickets, ticket detail. Let's add it, and here you will see we have the new ticket detail and ticket ID. Okay, and where we made it, this thing we made into wellness Agile, in the wellness Agile process. Okay, now we need to be change our project to Agile to wellness Agile.